There we go. All right, we are recording. We've got a great group of people, lots of people still logging in, which is great. Okay, let's get started. I'm sure we'll still have more people joining in, but try to pack as much value into this session as possible. I want to drive as much networking as possible. So I'm hoping we're going to have a bit of fun during this time. And I have spent a lot of time building this session together. So each year I do a top trends predictions list. And it comes from years and years and years of experience using LinkedIn. And I spent a lot of time building this one. And you are the first group of people to see it. When Yuri asked me to come and do something with Sales Hookup, I wanted to make sure it was epic. And I can pretty much promise you this is going to be a lot of fun with a lot of insights and stuff that I'm sure is going to help. So let's get going. Let me get my slides on the screen. There they are. Let's just make sure you're getting the right slides. Okay, now let me make sure I can see the chat box, the most important thing. Perfect. All right, we should be working nicely. Hopefully everyone can see the slides. Dominic's made a good point. If you have any questions, please drop them into the Q&A. Please drop them into the chat box. But more importantly, let's talk. You know, LinkedIn is a great social network. It's great for meeting people, connecting, having conversations, but it's platforms like Sales Hookup that take it to that next level. And that's what I really want to be the sort of core message in today's group. It's all about networking. It's all about meeting new people, starting new connections. And what we're going to do is utilize LinkedIn and Sales Hookup as a community as sort of the common theme driving today. So quick logistics, this is being fully recorded. I will share the recordings with the team at Sales Hookup so they can either distribute or find ways to share them with you. Any questions, pop them into the QA box or the chat box. And as I said, talk with each other. But today I'm going to share the top LinkedIn trends for 2025. And I can promise you one thing, and this doesn't come from a place of ego, just from a place of experience. I'm pretty confident on all of these, and it comes from a mixture of, again, years and years of experience of using LinkedIn, but also quite rarely this year, conversations with LinkedIn directly. They very rarely give any insights out to people, but they have done this year, and I'm going to share some of the insights that have come from them, which again, this is the first year I think we've actually had insights from LinkedIn about what's going to be pushed next year. So big shout out to Sales Hookup. Again, what they're building. One of my big predictions for last year was micro communities, still going to be massively valid for next year. I've got other trends to promote today that I'm very much fond of, but community is such a big thing. LinkedIn, huge network, billion plus users, fantastic place, but it's big. And actually, communities like this that help you have one-to-one conversations, that connect you with people, that can really turn, meeting and connecting with people into opportunities, short-term or long-term, I think is absolutely crucial. So for anyone who is here today that isn't already a member or hasn't started using Sales Hookup, please make sure you do, because it is phenomenal. And I can't wait to see it grow massively next year. Let me make sure the QA box is open as well. So a quick introduction to me. My name is Daniel Disney. I am not related to Walt Disney. I have to say that every time. I'm sure you can sympathize with that. I am a LinkedIn social selling sales navigator, speaker, author, and trainer. I've written and published 4 best-selling LinkedIn books. I'm also the founder and owner of The Daily Sales, which is the largest sales community on LinkedIn with now over 1 million followers and growing massively. Quick overlook at my numbers, and honestly, we'll whiz through this because this is not about me. This is about what I'm hoping to offer you today. Lots of followers. I create a lot of content that reaches a lot of people. LinkedIn is my space. I absolutely love LinkedIn as a platform, and I live to help others leverage it to its full potential whilst also living to leverage it to its full potential myself. So I live and breathe LinkedIn, not teaching you things that worked last year. Everything I teach you is what is working right now and what is going to be working next year. So, first of all, and some people have already got ahead of me on this one, let's connect. Like I said, this is all part of the Sales Hookup community, and I want you to connect on Sales Hookup and on LinkedIn. So please drop a link to your LinkedIn profile into the chat box so people can connect with you. And you'll see, spoiler alert, one of my trends today is that the opportunity to grow a large, valuable network on LinkedIn organically for free is shrinking. We don't have long left before it's going to be very hard to grow an audience on LinkedIn without spending a lot of money. So here is an opportunity to connect with a great group of like-minded people. So when someone shares their LinkedIn profile, click on it. You can do it now. We're just going to go through some introductory stuff before we get into the trends. So now's a good time. Click on it, click on everyone's, connect with them, send them a connection request. You can just mention you're part of this top trends session so everyone knows where you're coming from. Connect with each other, and then hopefully you're going to start talking to each other today, but you can start to talk to each other offline as well. So I can see lots of LinkedIn profiles coming in, which is really, really good. Lots of people love it. So let's connect. This is first thing we're acting on today. Brilliant. Okay, I wanted to quickly share the LinkedIn Trends timeline. So as I said, I've been doing these trends for many years now. I've been actively using LinkedIn for well over 10 years, sharing content daily for over 10 years now. And I've seen a lot happen in that time. The LinkedIn that I started with is not the LinkedIn that is here now. I love LinkedIn then, I love it now, by the way. But I wanted to just share some of the trends over the years so you can kind of see how LinkedIn has evolved. And you can see how some of these trends kind of have stuck or stayed or evolved in different ways. So, looking very briefly back at 2020, a year we shall not go too into detail with for other reasons. But for anyone who might remember it, they launched LinkedIn Stories, which for anyone who uses Instagram, it's like the little short video clips that you can click on, usually like 10, 20 seconds. And for a brief time, LinkedIn Stories came onto the platform. They're not there anymore, which goes to show how sometimes new releases don't last. And none of the trends today are focused around quirky new releases like that, but it's important to know that some things come and go. LinkedIn Live was launched, still very much trending strongly to this day, but the ability to stream live videos. Video direct messages, video messages on LinkedIn started to boom, and we're going to talk a bit about those today as well. And long form story posts were the top trending form of content, which they still perform well and have kind of come on and off from sort of top performing, but definitely want to keep an eye on. They have remained a consistent form of good content. 2021, personal images, a lot more selfies were coming out and trending well. Virtual events were still big from 2020, obviously. So there was a lot of that going around. LinkedIn polls suddenly came in, and the algorithm massively boosted them. Still does boost them, but like when they first came out, whew, they were getting the biggest engagement. And content variety was really keen, so a mixture of formatting of posts. 2022, we were back to in-person events, so seeing a lot of those, and that's growing and growing and growing. Really big this year, and can definitely see in-person events being a popular thing to be shared on LinkedIn. Vulnerable posts took a trend in 2022. So these were people sharing vulnerable stories, and I'm very much for LinkedIn being a place to share anything and everything. My only sort of word of caution with that is some people share things like that, get a lot of engagement, and that becomes the only thing they get engagement for, and then they start to use those stories for engagement. It's a very tough balance, so I always like to tread carefully with that one. Personal brands, I mean, they've been consistent, but they definitely became popular in 2022. And humor, again, always a consistent, but definitely has grown. 2023 carousels, they were sort of rumored to be removed, and I think that got changed pending. Could be removed at any point, but carousels perform on and off quite well. Personal brands growing again, online communities and video content. And then last year, the big trends: newsletters, ROI posts, so content that shares results you've delivered. New top voice badges. Some of you might have seen them, some of you might have them, have used them. Some of you might have seen that LinkedIn's going to remove them in November. So the top voice in the sort of yellow bar, they're going to go. which I think is not a bad thing. I was an advocate for them whilst they were there, but they're certainly, I was always very honest about them sort of credibility, lack of credibility. AI generated content and engagement. We've seen a lot of AI content and a lot of AI comments. We're going to talk a bit about that today. So, a bit of a timeline through history on some of the things that have been trending before. But here are some of the things that will never trend before I go into my top 10 trends for this year. And I love all the conversations coming in. Lots of people still popping their profile links. Make sure you do that if you haven't already. Michael, I wrote a bunch of articles on LinkedIn, but now it's almost impossible to find them. So it's something they seem to have deprioritized. Michael, it's interesting actually. So, I mean, you can go onto your profile and you can go back and filter by your articles, because I went back through my articles the other day, all the way back to the very first one I wrote, which was really cringy, but quite interesting. But you are right. Articles were the biggest form of content when I started using it 10, 11, 12 years ago. And they were really put on a pedestal. And that was one of the first form of content that I learned to master. And articles kind of dropped. Then newsletters came in a couple of years ago, and essentially the same thing. Newsletters rocketed. They've taken a slight decline this year, although starting to still deliver quite strong ROIs. But I do think that newsletter article format of content is still very popular when it's done the right way, but it doesn't get the same boost that it used to. I love that. And if anyone has sort of things they've noticed over the years on LinkedIn, pop them in the chat box. And if you have any predictions for next year, if anything you're seeing from your experiences that you think are going to be big, pop them into the chat box. This is a group, this is a community. I know we're in this sort of webinar format. It kind of allowed us to have a bigger space for people to join in. That was the main reason for doing it this way, so we could allow more people to come in. But I still want there to be lots of chat happening. Dominic, I think a crackdown on LinkedIn automation bots. I agree, Dominic, but it's really hard for LinkedIn, and so it's a really tough one to see how they're going to do it. But I definitely hope they do. But it's certainly not easy for them, but something they should absolutely tackle. So things that will never change. LinkedIn works online and offline. This is a big thing. Like, LinkedIn is a great tool, but it works better when you take it offline and connect on platforms like Sales Hookup, when you're able to meet people in real life, meet people at in-person events. I cannot tell you, it takes relationships to a level. LinkedIn is great, but it's not the be-all and end-all. And it's that drive to dig deeper that will ultimately benefit your businesses. If and when you can, do connect with people in real life. It's a game changer. I get opportunities now that only come from meeting people in real life, from meeting them at networking events or conferences or for coffees, that open the doors for the bigger opportunities. Value will always be the key in every part of LinkedIn, in your profile, in your content, in your messages, in your comments. You should always be a giver. The more you give, the more you'll get back. Profile will always be your landing page. It's the foundation of LinkedIn success. You want your profile to be as optimized as possible, and your network should have a monetary value. You should be generating business from LinkedIn. I can't see many reasons why anyone wouldn't, unless they didn't want to. LinkedIn can become and should be a very valuable source of business for you. And as I said, give to receive. Crazy Ruthie, crazy success recently with Sales Nav in-mails at night and weekends. Yes, evenings and weekends. I've been banging that drum for a couple of years now, and especially with in-mails, 100%. And Sales Navigator have some amazing things coming out next year, which I'm very excited about. Jonathan, recently saw a profile with 18K followers, never posted anything. Curious if bots starting to be a problem. I mean, to be fair, Jonathan, you could grow 18K followers without posting, because you could just manually add it. Tedious, would take a period of time, not impossible, but yes, there definitely is a bot problem. I've seen a few people recently with average audiences post and get 200 plus likes and comments in 5 minutes. There is no organic possibility of that happening. So yes, it's a problem, but again, challenge to deal with. Open in-mails at the one definitely gives you all the extra limits. People often do reply during off hours, almost more than during work time. Yeah, and it's funny, but it's not like unusual. Like, people are busy in the day, and LinkedIn's a social network, so people sometimes are more active in the mornings, the evenings, and the weekends because it's a social media. It's just they use it for work, and it's this weird sort of middle model between work and home. So it does it does work well. All right, lots of great stuff coming through. Okay, I'm gonna try and like bounce back and forth from what is an amazing conversation already, and hopefully giving you tons of insights with my top trends for next year. So let's dig into some of my top trends and keep the conversations going. I love this. Make sure you're all connecting with each other on LinkedIn as well. So, number one, 2025 will be the year. I thought about putting the second year in this point of video on LinkedIn, because when video first launched on the platform 8 years ago, that was the year of video. And I gained tens of thousands of followers by being one of the first people to create consistent video content. So when video first launched, that year was entirely massively around video. So 2025 will be the second year, the second coming of video. And I put this in my post on LinkedIn. This is one of the rare insights that LinkedIn themselves gave a small group of us a couple of weeks ago. So some of you, I don't know if everyone's now got access to the new video tab on LinkedIn. The UK was one of the last countries to get it. So everyone in the US had it way before me, which was very frustrating. But now I have it, which is great. So there is this new video tab. And look, let's be honest, it's kind of TikTok-y. Some good videos, maybe some not good videos, but TikTok has been a huge success story, and it is massively addictive. And again, has good content and bad content, just like LinkedIn does. Nonetheless, LinkedIn have been working on this over the last 6 months. Now it's being rolled out right now, so hopefully everyone has it. If you don't have it yet, you'll probably get it very soon. What LinkedIn have said is they've launched this year, and they're manually choosing the content to go on it. Right? So they haven't put the algorithm behind it yet because it's being built and tested, etc. In the new year, they're going to put the algorithm behind it, which means one thing: engagement on vertical video. So again, your sort of tool TikTok style video is probably going to boom. So this is an exciting insight that for me has been a massive signal. I've been investing and building vertical form video content ready for late this year, early next year. But this is what we're going to see. So vertical videos being prioritized. What LinkedIn have said, short videos, 60 to 90 seconds are optimum. Doesn't mean you can't do slightly longer ones or slightly shorter ones, but those should be your kind of your average point. You need to give value as quick as possible. Think TikTok. What do we do on TikTok? Scrolling so fast, trying to find videos that capture our attention. So if you go into a video slow, people will lose interest very quickly. So you want to go straight in with, this is what you're going to get if you watch this video. And you'll see that on TikTok. It will be, this is what's going to happen. Watch till the end, because they know that the algorithm will push them if people are watching the majority of the video. So make sure you give value up front. Create some form of branding within the video. So it could be something consistent. And look, I wear this red t-shirt, #socialselling. I've worn it for years now, but I didn't start off with this. This was an evolution of my brand. But because I always have this red t-shirt on, it makes me sort of memorable, recognizable, and that consistency helps with my brand. So wherever you can, try and find some way of being consistent. I've seen people that always do videos while they're on a walk or a run, and so you're used to seeing the trees or the buildings in the background. You might have a studio. Again, it could be what you wear, it could be your introduction. Lots of different ways you can look at this, but some form of consistent branding is helpful. Be patient and consistent. You might post your first video and it doesn't do well. Don't expect LinkedIn to suddenly boost every video you post. It's not doing that yet. So be patient and be consistent. I'm very confident that at some point early next year, we will see much higher engagement. Weekends will become popular for video because, again, it's a time when people are using LinkedIn in a more casual way, and video content is a popular form for that, hence why TikTok is so popular. Dominic, do you think authentic iPhone style videos will be or more professionals? Really, really good question. What we've seen is the iPhone, or authentic content has done very well over the last few years on LinkedIn, and I think it will do well with this. I think every form of video is going to do well next year. I think we're going to see good value of both forms of content is going to do well. So if you've got a studio, but your value's poor, your delivery's not great, you're not getting to the point quick enough, then it doesn't matter how great your background is, people will lose interest. Same as you could be walking organically with your phone, but if it's not the value you're giving, so it's going to be very much the value you give. That's the rule of LinkedIn. But the beauty of it is you could just have your iPhone and do a video, or if you've got the ability to have a studio, then that can work well. It's all about the value of the content, not the format. So number one, video. I'm all in for it. And my biggest tip will be if you've not shared video content yet, now's the time to practice. I promise you, when I first started recording video content, I hated it. It's one of the scariest forms of content to create if you've not done it before. Recording yourself on video, watching it. I mean, I hate watching myself back on video. So I know it's uncomfortable. So now's the time to practice, build your confidence up. So, like, it's a wave. These things are waves. When polls came out, it was a wave. When video first came out, it was a wave. The algorithm pushes it for 6 to 12 months and then it drops down. If you can capture and ride that wave, you can benefit from masses of follower growth, from leads generated, brand growth. I mean, why you wouldn't want to capture that wave? It's coming. So it's a good thing to practice. All right. Number two, your personal brands need to be real and credible. So we've had this wave of personal brands on LinkedIn, brand you, which is very, very important. And there are lots of people now taking the selfies and sharing their stories. What we've seen is the scales have slipped too much in the personal side of personal branding. And what we are starting to see work more are when the people take those brands and make them credible, professional, and relevant in your industry. So you have to try and get that balance. There's a few ways of doing this. So number one is the content formula. 20% of your content should give value. So these are tips, strategies, stories, journeys. Give as much as you can in your content and then promote 20% of the time. That balance helps you keep a professional and personal brand being built. And as I said at the start, give before you take. But the other thing that is very important when it comes to content is that the value of the engagement, which is what we want to generate an ROI from, is very much built on the quality and relevancy of your LinkedIn network. So when you are connecting with people, when you are growing your audience, you want it to be relevant, or otherwise the content you share isn't going to be making an impact and it's not going to drive the right type of engagement and conversation that you want. So we want to try and keep that balance where possible. Personal, professional balance is key. So you should have 50% of your posts being personal about you, your journey, and then 50% can be more professional about your company and work. That balance is very important because you want people to get to know you as a human being, and you also want them to see that you are credible and someone that can be trusted, who has relevant insights that maybe they want to buy from you in the future. Share real examples of how you help people. It's the best way to show people that you can deliver a solution. Share those results in testimonials and recommendations. Share stories of how you've helped someone achieve X, Y, and Z. Show people that you can deliver. Let people get to know you outside of work. So again, if you tip the scales and you go too professional and it's all work, 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 people lose interest. But let them get to know you as a human being so they see that you're not just a business, an entrepreneur, a salesperson trying to sell something, that you're a real person. Allow people to follow your journey. It's one of the most powerful things. And that journey might start today. You might start posting today. Doesn't matter when the journey starts, but people like to follow and see your journey from whatever it may be, progression, successes, challenges, everything. And share a balance of success and challenge. I chose the word challenge instead of failure. LinkedIn, social media is all glitz and glamour. Everyone's taking pictures in front of Ferraris and big houses and business class and painting this picture of this ideal life. But people see through it. People know that or hopefully people can mostly see through it and know that everyone is having a roller coaster journey. Show that people are more likely to connect with your real stories than this sort of false painted picture. Now, the reason I use the word challenge is because I've seen people who push failures, and the challenge with pushing a failure is you ultimately want to generate business from people. And talking too much about failures doesn't build confidence. Doesn't matter how real it can be, it's still not going to build confidence in someone to potentially buy from you or recommend you for business. Whereas a challenge talks about maybe a challenge you faced and how you've overcome it or how you are overcoming it. So just a slight rephrasing of that word, but just to share my thoughts on, again, why success and challenges is better than success and failures. Okay, 3. And I'm excited on this one. The best will build the optimal social tech stack. There is a ton of tools out there, but the most successful people are finding the right tools and it's optimizing what they do. So I'm going to share my personal favorite tools here. Right there in the middle on the left-hand side is one of my personal favorites, is Pipedrive. And I know Sales Hookup have got a great partnership with Pipedrive and they've got a great offer. So if anyone here is thinking about trying Pipedrive, I think Dominic or Yuri might be able to pop a link into the website, into the chat box. But if you head to their website, they've got a special link that will get you an extended free trial, if I'm right, and a discount opportunity as well. So I'll let them pop the link into that. There you go. It's right in there now. Go and check out Pipedrive. I've been using Pipedrive for years now. I love it. And Gabriel's put no HubSpot. I was actually at HubSpot's inbound conference a couple of weeks ago. I've used them all: HubSpot, Salesforce, Dynamics, and they're all good. And again, you have to choose the tool that's right for your business. I've got nothing bad to say about those other ones. All I know is, as a salesperson, especially, and someone who's led big sales teams, Pipedrive is the only CRM that was actually built for sales. And it is the only CRM I've ever actually enjoyed using. It's so easy to use, really intuitive. It's got absolute gold mine of features and apps that you can add to it. You can fully customize it, so it's fully customized for your business. It's just, in my opinion, my personal favorite CRM. And as I said, been using it for years, been working with them for a long time, and just love everything they do. And what they're innovating, they launched AI into it this year, just is getting better and better. So anyway, my personal favorite, definitely would recommend testing it out. Used them both, majorly HubSpot, Pipedrive changed. It changed now. Okay, yeah. I mean, Pipedrive has evolved and grown a lot. So anyway, Pipedrive, my favorite CRM. Other tools that are on this list that I'd recommend testing out, obviously ChatGPT, it's phenomenal. And some of these tools and these AI tools are literally just built off of ChatGPT. ChatGPT is very, very powerful. And I use it for coming up with ideas for LinkedIn posts, for helping me craft sort of newsletters and blog content, which I then go in and make better. Clay is something I'm testing at the moment. Clay is one of the most complicated tools out there, but it has so much potential, and I'm really excited. Once you figure it out, I'm hoping once I figure it out, then it's going to just completely open. What Clay it does is it does a lot of things. What I'm testing at the moment is being able to use the engagement from my LinkedIn content to turn it into a enriched list of contact details and information on people, which I'm then able to create campaigns to market and sell to. Clay can do that in probably one of the best ways out there. It's just not simple, but that's not a bad thing. It delivers a better outcome because of it. Just taking me a while to get to learn it. Surf is an incredible tool that works with Pipedrive. So Surf integrates into LinkedIn. So if I go onto someone's profile, Surf will find all of their contact details using all the databases that they have, up-to-date contact details, and it connects with Pipedrive. So with a click of the button, it sends all their details into my Pipedrive. So it's there already. Don't have to manually do it. Otter.ai. If anyone goes onto my LinkedIn profile today, the post I shared about an hour ago, it's a video of me explaining some of the things that blew my mind about Otter.ai. And it's, again, free to start using. Otter.ai transcribes your video calls. So Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, Otter.ai transcribes the call fully and accurately. Then it summarizes it for you, sets out the action points, gives you insights in the call. I haven't had to write handwritten notes for months now. And I mean, I was having a conversation the other day and the person was scribbling notes away. So this is being transcribed. We both put our notebooks aside and had a much better conversation because of it. Plus, it does some amazing other stuff as well. But I mean, just game changing. Taplio is a content scheduling and creation platform. Now, what I like about Taplio, you can schedule content free on LinkedIn, which is great. Taplio does it, but you can also put in a post into Taplio, so one of your LinkedIn posts, and Taplio will create multiple versions, and it can reformat it. So there are things it does that I definitely like. Sales Navigator, obviously, and the last one is Twain. What I'll do is collate a list of these tools when I send across the recording and stuff to the team. Twain is an AI machine that's being built to write sales LinkedIn messages, sales InMails, and sales emails, but it allows you to create context. So who are you messaging? What's their position? What's your product? What's the solution? You put all this information in, so what it creates is really good. It's not just like ChatGPT where it's like, write me a message. You give it the context, which means the output is really, really good. All right. Building your tech stack. Find the right tools for your business. Not every tool is applicable to every business. So find the tools that are right. And best thing you can do, try them. If you're not sure and if you've not tried it, try it. Most tools will have a free trial, or if not, they'll offer a demo. And so you can at least see it in real time. Look at what others actually use. There are a lot of people promoting products, but not all of them use it. So try and find the people that are actually using tools. Look for tools that work well together. So if you can have tools that connect and integrate, it's going to save you a lot of time. Learn how to use them properly. Again, doing a trial is great, but if you don't know how to use it, then it's going to be hard to see the value. So try and do your research and homework. It's definitely not easy trying new technology. Clay, it's a bit of a headache for me, just saying. And Jonathan loves Clay. It is really powerful, and I'm so excited about it. But it's so complex, and even learning it is complex. But it has to be. And, we need complex tools as well as simple tools. Otter.ai is simple. You sign in and it works and it does everything for you, which is obviously easy. Some tools are harder, but it's, worth pushing through that. All right. Trend number 4. How's everyone doing? Any questions coming through? Let me just have a quick look. We've got a couple of questions we'll answer now, just to take a little bit of a break. As LinkedIn becomes increasingly saturated with content, how can smaller businesses or individual professionals stand out in their social selling strategies without big marketing budgets? You do not need marketing budgets to stand out on LinkedIn. You need creativity, and you need to find ways to stand out, which shouldn't be hard. One of the best things I would do is, whichever industry you're in, is do some research. Look at who the biggest creators are, the influencers, the companies that are using LinkedIn and getting the highest engagement. You can, search through the feed, do some targeted research, look at what they're doing, and then just try and think of ways you might be able to do it differently. I was watching the Vince McMahon documentary. I don't know if anyone's seen it on Netflix. I started watching it last night. I don't know how many episodes I plowed through last night. What was very interesting is that what Vince McMahon built up WWF, and then some point during the timeline, I think it was WCW, a competing wrestling group came in, and their strategy was look at what the WWF was doing and just find ways to do it differently. And that's exactly how you stand out on LinkedIn. Look at what people are doing and find a different way to do it. You know what? I did the red t-shirt. Go and do a green t-shirt, and not with the social selling, but with something different. But find ways to stand out through the crowd. Find creative things. Tom Boston does like comedy stand-up style videos. There's a guy called Ding who does raps on LinkedIn. People find ways to stand out. So my biggest tip is do some research and look at ways to do it. Okay. Let's get back to this, and I'll come back to the other questions as we're going through. Hooks will become the most important part of content, and I didn't color the T in red. Always love the little details I miss out. Hooks have been important for the last couple of years especially, but they're now becoming the most important part, because if your opening lines, if your posts aren't super engaging, people will scroll past. People are scrolling fast. Our sort of need to find the right content is just our attention spans is shortening and shortening. So you really need to have a good hook. So a couple of examples here. Managers, tomorrow is the last day of the month. Instead of putting pressure on your sales team, why not take it away? ... It's a hook. If I was starting from scratch on LinkedIn today, there are 7 things I would start doing. ... It's a hook. Hooks you in. It tells you, like I said, it tells you what you're going to get from the post. So people are like, I want to know what those 7 things are. Let me read through it, instead of opening with something that just doesn't capture the attention. So a few hook ideas to get you started. Here are the 10 biggest trends I see happening in your industry in 2025. ... Bum, bum, bum. Nice and easy. VP of sales, or you're one of your target customers, told me about 3 tools they were currently using, and it shocked me. Ooh, what shocked you, Dan? It's all in the wording. I've seen 2 mistakes that 90% of our customers make, which are totally avoidable. What are those mistakes? I want to avoid them. It's all about capturing attention and bringing them in. Now, don't make it clickbait. You have to deliver on what you promise at the start, which shouldn't be hard. You just want to dress it up nicely so it hooks them in to consume your content. But if your hook isn't good, you could have a really good piece of content. I've seen people, great posts, newsletters, videos, but because they don't hook them in, they don't get the engagement. So it's not driving any sort of outcome. Okay, number 5, using AI the right way is going to make or break your ROI. AI is great, but a lot of people are using it the wrong way. So let me give you an example of this. A friend of mine, John Barrow, shared this a couple of months ago, and it was comments on a post that he put out. And you can see they are all AI comments, and pretty bad ones. I've started to see this on my posts a lot. It's not something you can control, but there is no benefit for the person doing them, nor is it a benefit to the creator as well. AI is not and will never be, not for a while, a replacement or a shortcut, but should be used to assist in what you do. Now, AI for commenting is pretty easy. You know, you got a sentence. Everyone should be able to think of a sentence. It should be no different to having a conversation with someone. You see a post, you read it, you share a thought about it. It's nothing complicated, nor is it massively time consuming. It is a sentence that is seconds to write. So AI doesn't really need to help with this. It's not a part that it should be assisting with. So we can probably steer away from that. Using AI to help content is very powerful, but not to create it, just to help create it. So when people create, copy and paste and share it, it's very visible. AI comments rarely, if ever, work. Does anyone here use AI comments? Just out of curiosity. If you've seen huge benefits, let me know. The next level of AI is coming soon. So I was at HubSpot's conference and I saw Salesforce's conference at the same thing. What we've had is AI that helps you do things. We're sort of, they're now building AI that kind of does things for you in essence. So we will see this evolution of AI coming very soon. AI very rarely works as just copy and paste. You have to then add your own bits to it. Look for platforms that train AI, like Twain, as I said. It's built to train the AI to deliver a better outcome. Ultimately, AI should help you save time and improve your efficiency. That's where AI works really, really well. Not to replace things, but just to help you be a better version. Right, number 6. This is a big one. LinkedIn influencer marketing is the next big wave. This is exciting because I've been doing this probably longer than most people. So I've been, a LinkedIn influencer for a long time and making money as a LinkedIn influencer for longer than most people. It's now becoming a much more popular thing as more and more people grow audiences. But what's interesting is that what was generally small to medium companies investing in it, we're now seeing the bigger companies doing it, including LinkedIn. LinkedIn, for the first time this year, spent money on influencers to promote their content on their platform. It's going to get much bigger over the next few years. So it's something to explore in your industry. And then there are 2 routes, you can go down, not that it's a choice, you can do both. One is to find and work with influencers. 2 is to become or build your own influencers. So either look at growing yourself to become an influencer or growing someone in your team or multiples to become an influencer. Gong are a great company that have been doing this for years. They've built up and have so many influencers in their business. So they have their own influencers to use, and they also work with other influencers as well. So a few tips on this, because I was encouraged to tread carefully. Try a mutually beneficial partnership. So where you can see with micro influencers, especially smaller influencers, you can probably work on a different way of giving value. Set budgets and start small. What I'll add to this is there are now agencies that help with this. So there are agencies that will play the middle part. So you can say, look, here's the budget. They will choose or find the right influencers for you. They'll help with the whole process. And that is a good way to start with. Valeria, it was Gong. I'm going to pop it in gong.io. Look for the right influencers. Now, some people get genuine engagement and get good results. Others don't. been doing this for a long time, and I'll work with a company that uses other influencers at the same time, and you'll see some work, some don't work. So try and look for the people that are getting good, real engagement by creating good, real content. Dominic, good question, and yes, there is. Limelight is one of them. Gonna might be spelling that wrong. There might be an O. So Limelight, and I think it's Fluencer. It could be Fluencer. I'll look at this afterwards. One of those two variations. These are marketplaces. Limelight is much more of a marketplace. You can go in, you can create your own shop as an influencer, and as a company, you can find influencers and do the transactions through it. So, and these are being built this year. This is why next year is going to be a big thing for influencer marketing. Work with them to create content for their audience. So don't just give them stuff and copy and paste. Some companies do that, especially the bigger companies. Doesn't work very well. Trust your influencers. They know their audiences. All right, number 7. The value of comments will get close to the value of content. So your content's valuable, but we're now seeing the value of comments getting even higher. So comments are now impacting the algorithm. So when you engage on content consistently, especially before you post and after you post, the algorithm pushes your content out more because it sees you as an active member of the LinkedIn community. So the value of your comment is now very, very high. Plus, it impacts your personal brand and all those wonderful things. So commenting on a regular basis is a key part of a successful LinkedIn strategy, especially going into next year. My recommendation, comment on 3 to 5 plus posts per day if possible. This is one of those tasks that will take some time. 5, 10, 15 minutes, maybe a bit longer a day. There's no ways to really, streamline this. It takes a bit of time, but it's worth it. Add contributive comments. So not just great post, but try and add context. So as an example here, this was Alex's post. Number 6 and 8 are my favorites. Alex, thinking long-term is key for building something big, and doing what you love is important to keep balance. Contributive comment shows that I've consumed the post, and you could add more to that as well. Select the bell icon on people's profiles. If you haven't seen it already, if you go on someone's LinkedIn profile, there's a little bell there. If you click it, it means LinkedIn will prioritize their content in your feed. So you can make sure you can guarantee whose content you see first. Commenting with images is working well as well. So you can actually add an image in your comments, which is great because you can deliver even more value through your comments. You will need time set aside to do it. You could book time in your calendar for it, and try and look for high engagement relevant posts. If you're just commenting on people's posts and they're only getting 1 to 2 comments, the impact's going to be much lower. So if you can, at least for some of your comments, try and put them on posts that are getting lots of comments so that you're seen in these sort of bigger rooms as such. Okay, let's look at some of the other questions coming through. What do you think about the possibility of people being overwhelmed by the amount of relevant content on LinkedIn and our sales outreach? How can we do something different? So people being overwhelmed by the amount of relevant content on LinkedIn and our sales, how can we do something different? Okay, so lots of good content coming out. How do you make your outreach stand out? That's going to be one of the trends, actually. I'm going to answer that question in a trend because I'm going to talk about direct messaging, and that's how you stand out. So we're going to come to that. I'm going to come back to that one. Also, AI generated content, as in this capture. Yeah, I mean, obviously AI is something we're going to tread carefully with, but I'm going to come back to the how do you stand out with your sales messaging, which is coincidentally the next trend. Definitely didn't plan that, but love that it worked out that way. Your LinkedIn DMs need to be extra human, which sounds weird, but we are getting this huge rise of DMs being either horrendously spammy or AI generated, and very, visually AI generated. I don't think this one's AI generated necessarily, but maybe more copy and paste spam. So there's a little template, clicks it, it updates the company name, and then they just spam it out. Either way, it doesn't work. Everything about this message is designed to not stand out. Not that that's what they designed it for, but it doesn't stand out. Big blocky texts. No one's going to read that. I can tell that someone hasn't written that for me. It's not personalized. It's all about them. Lots of bad things about that messages. So If you want to stand out, you need to take your game to the next level. So hyper personalization with relevant insights is important. You need to make your messages about them. Number one, how you stand out, talk about them, not yourself. Use audio and video. That's the biggest one. AI can't do that yet. Not well enough yet. It's getting there though, which is scary. But definitely right now, you can't do audio and video messages on LinkedIn with AI. Not that I know of. There's probably some really long, expensive way of doing it. Anyway, so when you send a voice note or you send a video message, is real. That's again how you stand out. And 99% of the time, people are just sending written messages. So again, audio and video stand out. Be genuine in your approach. Don't just try and sell. That's what spamming does. That's what AI does. Just be human. Talk. And look, sales hookup can be your reference point. Talk to people the way you would talk to them in a networking event, in a community. Real conversations. That's what people want on LinkedIn. Make your messages about them, not you. Build your own personal brand. That's another way to stand out. Again, when you start sharing content consistently and you build your brand, people recognize you. And they see you as a person. So then when they see your messages come through, cuts through. Reference and engage in their content. Again, it makes the message about them, but you also give value by engaging in their content. If I engage in Dominic's posts, he'll notice that. And then if I message him, he'll remember that I've been engaging on his posts. I've given some value up front. Number 9, 2 skills everyone should master that are becoming more and more valuable on LinkedIn is storytelling and copywriting. And I've bracketed them in together because they are very much interconnected. The ability to write well and tell good stories is highly valuable on LinkedIn for your content, for your conversations, and even to an extent for your messages. And that expands into your email writing. It expands into your networking and your ability to tell stories to people, which is a valuable skill for sales. So there's a few places you can start. Look for free online courses. There's a ton out there. LinkedIn Learning has a lot of good courses that you are able to access. Follow copywriting influencers. There's lots of them out there. They're all selling their own courses as well, but at least consume their content for the first part and see some of the basics that they're pushing out. Learn from successful marketers. If you've got a marketing department or people that have worked in marketing, learn from them. Read books. There's a lot of great books on storytelling, especially, and a few ones that have come out recently. Story selling is one of them, and books on writing. And practice makes perfect. It's a skill that has a lot of value. And if you're looking to, I think Michael's put a book recommendation, Storyworthy. I don't think I've heard of that one. I'm going to take a look at that one. Thank you. If anyone's got book recommendations for good copywriting or storytelling books, pop them in. Practice makes perfect. And like I said, it's a skill set that is going to be massively valuable now and into the future. And as the sort of the bar for content on LinkedIn, again, to stand out against the ChatGPT and AI generated content means you need to become a better writer. You need to be the best writer you can possibly be. So it's a skill that maybe not many people look at and investing in when it comes to LinkedIn. But if we're looking at things, copywriting, storytelling, video, the ability to record and create good video content and maybe editing, these are all valuable skills that certainly skills that I've invested in and continue to invest in to make sure I, drive the best ROI on the platform. Right, number 10, as I said at the start, the chance to grow a free audience is going, right? If I wanted to build an audience on Facebook now, near on impossible, without spending a lot of money, near on impossible. 15, 20 years ago, easy. LinkedIn is still riding that early organic wave, but it's ending and we're already seeing it. LinkedIn's really pushing on their ads, thought leadership ads, everything is very much around the money you boost into it. And it won't be long before organic reach is really hard because when they can fully restrict it, they'll be able to sell more of their ad space, which is their business. It's fine. It's how it works. But this is your probably last chance to grow a big audience without having to spend money. And if you build a good audience, that audience will have a value that can compound and build. And if you can sort of get past the tipping point, even when the organic sort of reach and such goes down, if you've got a good starting point, and I would say 5,000 followers plus, then you'll still be able to generate good ROI regardless. So here are my big tips for this. Search and add key target people daily, the right people. You want the right audience, not just anyone and everyone necessarily, but the right people. Doesn't mean just people that are going to buy from you, but people that have value in your industry and in your sector. Build a personal brand that attracts people. Become someone that people want to connect with. So it's not just you adding people, but people are adding you or following you because they want to consume more of your content, which comes from creating and sharing good, engaging content. Comment on a regular and consistent basis. When people see you commenting, they want to connect with you because they see you networking. If you go into a room and you see someone talking to everyone, you want to talk to them. So be that person. Show up on LinkedIn daily. Be someone who's active and connect with active users. So when you see someone sharing content or commenting, connect with them because they are, in essence, the most active people on LinkedIn and worth having in your network to communicate with, to engage on their content, and hopefully encourage them to connect on your content as well. Good question come through. What are your thoughts on LinkedIn groups? LinkedIn groups, not very good now. They were many years ago. Died a long time ago. Still there. Some people use them. What I have seen over the last 3 years now is LinkedIn has been testing ways to revive them and evolve them. Now, I think video went up the list. So they're prioritizing video. I do think at some point, could be late next year, could be the year after, groups will be could be pushed again, but I think video has taken the lead. If the video tab hadn't come in, groups might have been coming back next year. What I would say is test them because there may be some active groups in your industry that are worth being a part of. Just the way LinkedIn is formatted, they're not prioritized. They're really hidden, hard to get into. When LinkedIn pushes them, you'll see them in the feed. It'll be there visually. You'll be able to see your groups, new comments. It'll just become in your face. Whereas now they're hidden, which is why they don't drive really high ROIs. Okay, well, that's the end of my talk part of this, and I can see some more questions, so please do pop your questions in the chat box, but follow those trends, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to ride some big waves going into 2025. So I am going to end the slideshow. Here I am back so I can see fully on questions and comments. All right. How do you strike the right balance between being authentic and personable while still needing to ask your connections for a favor? I guess the way I've always looked at that is that you reach a point in the conversation where it's natural. So you just want to try and navigate it to that point. Like you would, again, we need to stop thinking of them as two different things. Like LinkedIn is just networking. So like you would have that conversation with someone in person, you're just doing it online and you want to have a real conversation. And then when you feel the time is right, you can jump in and say, actually, did I just see that you work at this company? Not sure if you've looked into it, but we have a product or service that might help you. And your delivery needs to be authentic, but you just want to find the right time to when you've earned the opportunity for that. And it's going to be different for different people. So you want to try and strike that balance. Sometimes it does work to just go straight in with the sales pitch, especially with senior decision makers. If you're director level and above, sometimes they don't need all of the fluffy pretending rapport building straight away. They just want you to get to the point. Hi, I think I can do this for you. I can save you this money. I could save you this time. I'd love to show you how. So again, different for different people, test out different approaches, but try and find that sort of organic conversation place where you're able to navigate it. And some of that comes down to confidence and experience. If you started from 0 followers in 2025, what would be your main focus to grow your brand? That's a good question, Dominic. Main focus. There's a few things. Number one, I would start adding people manually. And I encourage that. I did a coaching session with someone this week, and they had, I think it was 5,000 followers, which was really great. But one of the things they weren't actually doing were adding people. And so there's a really simple way to control your growth. If you added, let's say you added 100 people a week, which is LinkedIn's soft limit, 100 people a week, 400 a month, you could have another 4,000 people by the end of the year. So that's an easy way to guarantee growth. And then the other things are creating content, commenting, and building your personal brand to then drive people to add you. There is no reason if you were starting from 0, you couldn't be at 5,000 to 10,000 followers at the end of the year if you did those things right. It doesn't take a huge amount of time either. What's your recommended way to build a list of people you want to engage with? Comments. Okay, two ways I would recommend it. Number one is Sales Navigator with lists, but that is a cost. So if you're using Sales Navigator, build a list on there. Definitely the best. If you're not using Sales Navigator, I wouldn't suggest you use it for just this purpose because it's not cheap. So I would probably do a spreadsheet or create a list in my CRM. Again, Pipedrive, I can do that really easily. And then the other thing is to select the bell. So although you can't, I don't know if you can see the list of people you've selected the bell on, but it doesn't matter. It just means their content will prioritize in your feed. So whenever they post, it will appear at the top. It's the only way you can really go against the algorithm and control the content you see. So that's always a key part of that as well. And not to keep these questions coming, by the way. I love these questions. Do you always add a message when you connect? No. And there are tons of studies done, and every year people study this from experience, and what a lot of these studies show is that the majority of people are more likely to accept your connection request without a note. The exception to the rule are very senior people, CEOs, VPs, or people that have more than 20K followers that might be getting close to the 30K limit and might be more conscious about who they connect with, or anyone who's over that amount, who again can't just connect with anyone and everyone. But the majority of people tend to be more likely to connect without a note. Any questions? Do keep them coming. Again, for everyone that's here, if you're not already, make sure you start using Sales Hookup and test Pipedrive. The link was shared earlier. The Sales Hookup link. Again, Pipedrive, my favorite CRM. Make sure you've connected with everyone on LinkedIn. If you haven't already, start applying this. Start engaging on posts. Start networking with people. Start growing your own network. All these things. Like 2025 is going to be a big year for LinkedIn. It has grown and grown and grown and grown. I think with the push of video, we're going to see so much more happening on LinkedIn. Dominic's put the LinkedIn. Thank you very much. What not to do to build your personal brand as a salesperson, also representing your business. What not to do. Build your personal brand as a salesperson, also representing your business. It's all about balance, which is what I've talked about today. You want to be able to show that you're a real person and also a salesperson working at your business. So it's all about that balance. Everyone can do this bit easily. Like, everyone is a human being. We all have our own lives. It's just finding a way to share that in a way that we're comfortable with, that allows our audience to get to know us as a human being. So everyone can do that bit the same. Then it's just the work bit. Whatever role or position you have, you could be a manager, a leader, a CEO, a salesperson, marketing, whatever your role is, you then get to share that journey. The key is to just go out there to help. Doesn't matter what position you're in. You could be a salesperson, but you still want to help people. So your content should be about them. It's not about selling something. So your personal brand is just that balance of both. You could be new in your company, so share the journey. You could be experienced in your company, just share your journey. All right, we are just about on the hour. What are your personal plans to keep standing out? Good question. For me, it's about following the algorithm. That's the LinkedIn game. Following what LinkedIn is prioritizing, and video is a big one. So for me, it's heavily into video. So I don't have it with me, but one of these sort of portable cameras to create more travel with me type videos, a day in the life of type videos. I've got the first one being edited from Inbound, and again, more vertical portrait video content as well to start putting out. So that's kind of my way of standing out. But again, it's to keep coming out with original content. So in every format, text, quotes, humor, keep creating good, organic, real content. What's your view on using automated outreach tools? Okay, if the messaging is right. I'm very cautious with automated messaging tools because I've not found any that do it right in experience. For better ROI, I've always been a individual, fully personalized person. Obviously not scalable, but very consistent in delivering results. So yeah, but I am seeing tools get better at this. So I think maybe in the very near future, we're going to see tools that do this well. But certainly on LinkedIn, I would keep it organic, so much better. All right, we're on the hour. We're gonna have to wrap this up. So if you haven't already, follow me on LinkedIn. I'm gonna be on Sales Hookup now as well. So ping me any questions that you've got. We might be able to set up another one of these very soon, maybe in the new year as well. But thank you to everyone who's joined in. Yuri and Dominic, thank you so much for having me. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope everyone here has enjoyed it. I hope the trends are helpful. Yeah, keep in touch on LinkedIn. I'm looking forward to seeing lots of you on LinkedIn now. And if anyone has any questions, again, ping me on LinkedIn. Feel free to get in touch. But I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And I look forward to seeing you on Sales Hookup and LinkedIn very soon. Take care, everyone.